Welcome to Speak for Yourself, Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Acho up here right now. I ain't gonna do it, Acho, with you. Not gonna get stuck like that Rams offense last night. Good Lord, let's get started with the Rams. Boy, they were hitting out there, and they were upset last night by the 49ers and have now lost 2 straight games. Matthew Stafford threw 2 interceptions in their first 2 drives, including a pick 6. Odell Beckham Jr. made his Rams debut, but finished with only 2 catches. Damn. Sean McVay said the last 2 weeks have been, quote, humbling. So, Acho, is it panic time for the Rams?
I think it is, Phil.
You?
I'm panicked at least, and remember, I got the Rams going to the Super Bowl. I still do. However, I am panicked. The Rams want to play pretty while everybody else trying to play gritty.
Yes.
And that's the problem. There's no more helpless feeling in life than when somebody telegraphs a punch and they still hit you with it.
Yeah.
And the 49ers were telegraphing their punches. Everybody and their mama knew they were going to run the football. 16 consecutive times on first down did the 49ers run the football. And the Rams still couldn't stop it. When everybody in the stands, everybody on television, everybody at home, and everybody, if mama knows y'all gonna run the ball and you still can't stop the run, that's an issue. Now it is time to panic, because now that's helpless. There's truly no more helpless feeling ever in the game of football than when somebody is telling you they're gonna do something and they still do it and you still cannot stop it.
Preach.
I've been in that position before. Not so much the NFL, but I've told you this. College, national championship. We're going up against the University of Alabama. They had a young Trent Richardson.
What you mean young? He in college. I hope he young.
A young
What
Trent
you
Richardson,
mean?
but they had a grown Mark Ingram.
Oh.
We knew they was going to run.
Bowling ball.
They knew they was going to run.
Ham.
Y'all knew they was going to run.
Burger.
Everybody knew they was going to run. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. They still ran right down our throat.
Acho right there. They even calling that was the name of the play.
18. Check. 18. Still ran it right down our throat.
Damn.
Couldn't stop nothing. Not a nosebleed. We tried. Couldn't do it. That's what happened with the Rams yesterday, Sel. It was like they tried, but they couldn't do it. The problem with the Rams is what they do best has been proven irrelevant at times. They rush the passer, led the league in sacks. However, it don't matter if you can rush the passer if you cannot stop the run. They got a lockdown corner, but it doesn't matter if you have a lockdown corner if the other team has a gadget receiver in Deebo Samuel who they can line up in the backfield, slot out wide. Jalen Ramsey can't travel everywhere Deebo goes because I put him in the backfield. Now he's hidden. I'm panicked because the Rams know their issues. They know their deficiencies, and they still cannot stop them.
Man, come on, bro. I'm with you, but I've already been there, and it's just like, oh, Acho just show up to the party like the party just started. Dog, we've been out here looking at this Rams team like, man, they look glossy, but a little suspect when you dive into the details. You're right. Let's talk about the physicality you talk about. Boy, they were out there hitting. I hated those games because I counted those games in like dog years. I was like, this counts for 7. When you know that they coming at you and they ain't gonna stop it till the whistle, echo of the whistle blows. Not just bleep, 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 and they still driving you. That's what happened last night, and the Rams knew it. And the Rams couldn't show up. Man, the physicality, I hate to say this, because I'm not calling anybody a punk, but they got punked. And sometimes you get punked. Like, yo, he gets what he wants done. He gets everything that he wants to happen on that football field, whoever you're facing. And it happened. They got punked yesterday. Took me back to my childhood, dude. I'm talking about, like, just watching all that red and that blue, just going at it. I was like, damn, there's some banging out here, some real gang banging out here. Now, this is not why I'm panicked right now. The physicality you can recover from. You know, it's a season long of ups and downs. Guys hit you, you hit them. Here's the problem, Macho, and I don't think you even talked about it. Matthew Stafford. Here's the problem. Let's talk about the doubt birds that are now circling around this team. Let's talk about this team looking at Matthew Stafford and saying 2 things to him this entire year, quietly, the unspoken language. 1, be better than Jared Goff. Now, people could say, of course he's better than Jared Goff. Don't forget, Jared Goff took them to the Super Bowl, okay? So be better than Jared Goff, which means an outcome. But more importantly, be better than Jared Goff. What does that mean? Matthew Stafford, you come in with a reputation that precedes you. We know that you're great, but also you ain't been great when you needed to be the greatest. Playoff record obviously comes into mind, right? You're like, damn, when it all counts, when it all matters most, where's Matthew Stafford? Don't act like Matthew Stafford didn't have weapons before. I mean, Calvin Johnson, anybody heard of him? Like, the point is, this team has always said, hey, we ain't gonna doubt you, Matthew, until you give us a reason to connect your past to this present. And now, the last 2 weeks, oh, he's giving them reason to connect their past to their present. Let's look at this full screen right here. Talk about L.A. You know how it is, L.A. in the 405. Traffic jams out here right now. Week 1 through week 8, Matthew Stafford, ain't nobody talking bad about you, bro. MVP candidate. Let's look at these last 2 weeks. 13 points a game, 28% third down percentage, and y'all are getting this boy hit back there. 7 sacks, despite 8 weeks of only 8 sacks. So here's the problem. They got smacked in the mouth. Somebody said, come over here, I'm gonna slap you. And they walked over to you ain't, and got, whoa, and didn't respond, didn't fight back. Worse than that, their leader, the guy that they brought in to be the savior, is now making them doubt him and doubt themselves.
So I'm with you there. I feel like the Rams are like fine china. Everybody had that fine china in that lower cupboard in the house somewhere.
Everybody had it?
Finer.
When'd you get it?
Finer.
You know, okay, I'm about to say.
Everybody had
you mean you had something from China? No fine
really
China.
Fine. But I look at the Rams like fine china.
Okay.
Pricey, look good. But I wouldn't necessarily want it on a daily basis.
Okay.
Because it's a little more fragile than others. Now, if I have one event, I'm bringing out the fine china. If I'm trusting it for one game and one game only, oh, no doubt I'm going to that lower cupboard. I'm bringing out the fine stuff. But that fine china, oh, it's a little too fine. It's a little too pristine. It's a little too fragile. That's what the Rams showed they were yesterday.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey, beast. Aaron Donald, beast. Von Miller, beast. OBJ, beast. All of them pricey to some extent. If not pricey by cost, pricey by exposure.
Yeah.
But when the Niners came out gritty, when the Niners came out a little dirty with it, the Rams weren't about that action on the interior, to your point. Jalen Ramsey held it down, did his part. Aaron Donald still made some plays, did his part to some degree. But the Rams just didn't have that same dog in them that the Niners had on the field. That's why I'm panicked. I'm panicked because when the Titans had that dog, Rams couldn't match it. I was at that game. When the Niners had that dog, Rams couldn't match it. We saw the Rams get beat by Arizona, and Arizona was a little still pretty-ish. But until the Rams can stop the bleeding, then they just gonna bleed to death.
Yeah.
And the bleeding in this instance is simple. You can't handle anybody physical at all.
Oh, you thinking?
And you talked about it, Sel, in the NFL. If you prove you can't stop something, teams will continually test you until you prove that you can stop it.
Man, talk about it, bro. Look, this is why I love football, man, because you don't judge a book by its cover, because it's a great game of skill, greater game of will. If I wanted more than you, you in trouble. I don't give a damn how big, how fast, how strong you are. Cats coming off the bus saying, you see my muscles, you see my Letterman jacket, you see my All-Pros, you see my Pro Bowls. Cats say, you got to show me with your muscles on the field right now for 3 hours. That's it. And the Rams didn't show up to that moment. Here's the thing. You're going against a team that got a boy on their team named Debo. Guess what? He coming for change. He coming for, like, that little gigantic little dude, that little thick little dude. He is a mentality running with the football. And you can run all different types of ways. Let's go back to our childhood. The little fast dude in the neighborhood, right? It's always an elbow runner. You got one of them. You're like, dog, if he clean that up, he gonna be hella fast. But he faster than you, still running like this. You got the dude that run with no shoes on. You look out for him. If he ain't got no shoes on, he about to tilt on your head. You got the dudes that's just, you look at him and he bow-legged. And you're like, oh, damn, you can't run against no bow-legged 8-year-olds. Bow-legged 8-year-olds are always fast. I looked at the Rams yesterday, and they saw all of those attributes in this team. This team said, yo, we bow-legged, ain't got no shoes on, and guess what? We coming at you. And still let them run them boys up and down the field. You're right. The Rams are a little too rodeo. In L.A., you got to be rodeo or Rosecrans. Like, you can't go out there in the NFL and be that damn pretty, because somebody going to say, okay, the only way I can attack you is by getting ugly with you. And the Rams now have a blueprint that everyone is faxing around the league, my day, faxing around the league. Hey, get ugly with them pretty boys. See how they play.
A little too rodeo. That's only good if you're trying to shop, not if you're trying to stop anybody's rushing attack. So when I watched that game, I was thinking about this quote. that which I fear the most has befallen me. Because if you are the Rams, what you probably fear the most is, man, if we lose our defensive coordinator, are we still going to have a top-flight defense? That was probably one of your biggest fears.
Talk to us.
You lose your defensive coordinator. He goes on to become the head coach of the Chargers, but you still got Aaron Donald. You still got Jalen Ramsey. So in your mind, you'll probably still be top-flight. Well, you go from having the best defense in football last year to the 12th best defense in football this year. You think to yourself, that which I fear the most has befallen me, because you feared that you wouldn't be able to stop the run if your defensive coordinator left. You feared that strategically some things would start to decrease or diminish. And now all of those truths are becoming a reality. Now, I'm not full-fledged panic mode if I'm the Rams, because it takes certain teams to exploit the Rams. And not every team in the National Football League can exploit the Rams. I only think about 4 or 5 meaningful teams can exploit the Rams. So I'm not in a full-fledged, oh, my God, panic, because the Rams aren't going to have to see the Niners when it matters, more likely than not, because the Niners played with their food the majority of the season. But the code is out on these Rams, man. Just hit them in the mouth, big dog. So, lastly, for me, it's like that bully. And that bully in high school, nobody wants to try. Bully looks the part, standing at 6'3", 6'4", got the muscles, blah, 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 talking all that talk. But then one day, the bully gets caught slipping. And now, nobody fears the bully any longer, because you realize, oh, all I got to do to the bully is either physically hit him in the mouth or talk about the bully's X, Y, or Z. Because bully's insecure, too. And now everyone realizes in regards to the Rams, all we got to do is run directly at him. All we got to do is hit him in the mouth. All we got to do is be more physical, and they in for a long day.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The Gooch, as they called him growing up. I don't know if you watched Different Strokes growing up. Now, the world don't move.
Should have been just one drum.
Are we going to get sued for singing? Because I love that song. Oh, and then they get to that little part that's like the alphabet, LMNOP, the about the song. Nobody know that part. Nobody know that part. I have never met a person. Here's the thing, the Gooch. I don't know if we ever saw the Gooch. Arnold was scared of the Gooch. The Gooch was like anonymous, and then everyone was still scared of him. Well, guess what, Rams? Y'all ain't got to be scared of something anonymous. Oh, it's written. It's known. It's the running game coming at these boys. And they ain't even scared, but they need to be scared because of the way the Rams are playing right now. You brought up a great point. Losing your defensive coordinator. All of a sudden now, you start to look at this team, find itself on the outside of those Super Bowl champion teams they aspire to beat. Rams are 12th in scoring defense. Nothing to sneeze at, except the last 6 Super Bowl champions have been top 8. So they're going to have to shore up their defense just to get themselves the same level of confidence and chance, it seems like, in recent history. My last point is this. Oh, my God. Here are the Rams. I don't dress fresh. Like, sometimes I show up, you know, thanks to our wardrobe department over here. But you saw me at the other network where you got to work before you work, which means put on your own clothes. Oh, I look a mess. And on my day-to-day, I look a mess. I know I do. I don't want to stay fresh. I ain't got swag, soldier. I ain't got none of that, right? But here's the thing. When I do get fresh, those days I know I'm popping, right? And I put it on. Like back in my playing days, I had the Dat Dude chain this big, right? When I knew I was fresh, my throwback on, my Dat Dude, my Nelly headband, I didn't do that much. I didn't say that much. I didn't flex who I was because I was like, speaks for itself. Sometimes when you pay for things, sometimes when you pay for a team, got Von Miller, got Odell Beckham, got Matthew Stafford, like you start putting your roster out there on the field before you actually put your performance on the field. You paid for this. You didn't work for this. Y'all didn't go through all those rigors, that tight fist. Sometimes when you pay for something, you don't do all you need to do in the dirty work and the details, because you're like, look at me. Well, the Rams, they looking at you now, and now they smacking the hell out of y'all. Coming up, Tom Brady has not looked like the GOAT recently. Speaking of looking, we'll tell you our level of concern for his Bucs. But first, all signs are pointing to Cam Newton as the starter in Carolina. We'll tell you if that will be a mistake. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Different strokes it takes. Cam Newton is back. Ran for a touchdown, threw for another one in his return to Carolina. Now, Cam will get most of the first-team reps ahead of Panthers matchup against Washington and his former head coach Ron Rivera. Take a listen to Matt Rule on the plan for Cam.
I thought he did a great job last week, having 10 plays that he was kind of ready for, 10 to 15, So, we'll start getting him ready. And if he's ready to start, great. And if it's if he's not quite ready yet to do everything, then obviously PJ's available. It's kind of that plan right now.
So, would it be a mistake for the Panthers to start Cam Newton?
Absolutely not. Cam Newton must start for this team because they know that they have lightning in a bottle with Cam Newton. Now, can we get all of that lightning out of that bottle when it comes to Cam Newton? Acho, how long has it been since you've been retired? How long has it been?
5 years.
5 years? So 2016? That was your last year? You were on the field 2016?
2015 was my last year.
Okay,
yep.
Yeah, you retired. Yeah. Some cats always try to add that extra year. I did that too. I retired in 07. It was really 06, but whatever, Acho. Here's the point. If you, the linebacker Acho, went back to the football field, like you just got a call right now, you're like, Sel, I got to take it. I'll be back, but I got to take it. First of all, I'll be like, dog, y'all don't know what y'all get, but he ain't ready. He ain't ready. Well, let's just say you stayed in football shape, not just looking around fresh suit shape. And Acho showed up. And then in his first 2 plays, I don't know, for a linebacker, what's the best thing that could happen to you? Pick 6?
Pick 6.
Okay, pick 6, first play. Damn, Acho, you were in shape. Then the next play, pick 6. You imagine that happening to you? Well, I ain't got to imagine that happening to Cam Newton. You know his first 2 plays were touchdown and touchdown because it's Cam Newton lightning in the bottle for this team. You know that this team scored its season high in points because Cam Newton was not only in the building, but on the football field with him. It's called electricity. It's just the thing that you can't describe that lets you know that's what you need the most. It's like once you get out of super singlehood, you realize that you can't explain love. You can't describe love. Ask me how much I love Anna Marie and why and how. I can't. I do, but I can't. You know why? Because you can't describe something that you need so much. And that's what Cam Newton is to this team. A top defense that all they need is a quarterback with juice. And Cam Newton's got the juice. So, yes, you got to put Cam Newton in as your starter.
So starting Cam Newton would be one of the worst decisions the Panthers could make this season. Now, one of the worst decisions they made in the offseason was thinking Sam Darnold was going to be their savior. But one of the worst decisions you could make in season is starting Cam Newton. Cam Newton came in relief and helped the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton did not start the game. No. Cam Newton was not supposed to be the meal. He was supposed to be the dessert. You don't just go to a restaurant and start eating dessert.
Marie Callender's?
Sure, but it's going to leave you with cavities and a bad taste in your mouth. Hey, you've got to have the dessert as a little icing on top. That is who and that is what Cam Newton was. Okay. If you start Cam Newton, first and foremost, being real with y'all, you violate the integrity of the team.
Let's go there.
The integrity of the team is who was there in April, May, June. Okay, we had 90. We cut that roster down from 90 closer to 53. With the practice squad, we're sitting closer to 67, 68 nowadays with the addition of practice squad. Okay, even then, you make a couple additions here, a couple additions there, 5 to 10 players. But the nucleus of the team was together grinding. The coach was sitting there putting in words of encouragement. April, May, June, July, September, April, May, June, July, August, September, and now ball is here.
Okay.
You gonna undermine all the work that the core of your team has done because now Cam Newton is here. As if Cam Newton ain't been there. Cam Newton was a free agent, y'all. We're not acting like Cam Newton just descended from Mars and, oh, I just got back, America. I just got back, world. Cam Newton been on the street, and y'all been had P.J. Walker because you all thought P.J. Walker was better than Cam Newton. So now why all of a sudden do you all believe that Cam Newton is the best person for you all? Was it the play that Cam Newton scored on? Because we can look at the touchdown pass he threw. We can look at the slant he threw. We can look at those 2 plays if we shall look at them. Because none of those 2 plays in my mind said, oh, yeah, Cam Newton is back. None of those 2 plays in my mind said, yeah, this is a Cam Newton I want to start at this point going forward. So was it this slant that was 3 yards behind the receiver?
Why you keep saying 3? It was 5.
Surely it was not that pass play that said, I want Cam Newton as my starter. Come and look at the touchdown pass. We've seen this one already.
Yeah.
Surely it was not the touchdown pass, this rollout, sprint out that he threw, the one place you really shouldn't throw behind the receiver because this defensive back can take that and go the other way with it if he gets his head around. Surely it wasn't this play that said we should make Cam Newton the starter. Starting Cam Newton would be the worst thing the Panthers can do. Keep him in the role he's in. Y'all just won. He just balled. Everybody happy.
Man, everything you said, I can't argue fully. The only thing you was missing for real is how you usually preface this kind of block when they're talking about Cam Newton. You usually say, I love Cam Newton. He was my favorite player when I was a player. And then you just hate. This time you just went straight to the hate. I get it, all right? Like you said, I came for the meal. And the meal is you hating on Cam. Boy, Cam is only in the building because of the IR status of Sam Darnold, correct? And what does IR stand for?
Injury reserve.
No, it ain't. Insert replacement. And guess what? Oh, my God, look at this replacement. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Super Cam. And Super Cam shows up. Now, they scored the most points that they did all season long. Okay. Their most yards since week 4. They had 2 rushing touchdowns, first time since week 4. And they had their best red zone percentage of the year. But you want to talk about, oh, well, Cam Newton, he didn't really have an impact. It's the immeasurable impact. It's the energy impact. Did you hear all the quotes from the players before the game about Cam Newton and certainly after the game about Cam Newton, how he just made them go to another place? Let me tell you why he's so important for this team. This team has a chance, has a shot. I don't know about winning it all, but certainly making some noise and kicking up some dust in the playoffs, correct? With this defense and C-Mac, you got a chance if you get some quarterback play. Now, this is why Cam Newton's important. In every team, you need that wild card. You need that friend. You need that teammate that's just daring, that doesn't need all of the calculations and make it make sense and the logic. Just goes out there and does it. What they say about a dog, they don't stretch, they just hunt, they just eat, they just kill. They just go get it. Cam Newton is that one that shows up with his team, and his team is trying to calculate, can we do it? Can we do it? How good are we? And Cam is just already in front of them. Say, follow me, dog. We as good as we want to be. That's why Cam Newton has such an impact on this team in terms of the statistics, but the mental makeup. They just play with more juice. Sometimes you just get around somebody, and you got more juice. I work with a lot of co-hosts. Some of them, I had to pick myself up. Some of them, I had to bring myself down, because I'm like, they hype as hell. Point being, look at this team in terms of its chemistry. Now you put a cherry on top to Cam Newton with this defense and that running game, special things can happen.
I feel you on the special things. I feel you on the special things, but allow me to reveal the secret. Allow me to reveal the secret of why you should not start Cam Newton. It's very simple. If Cam Newton plays bad, then there is no relief. Who's supposed to save the superhero? The superhero comes into the scene after all the mere mortals have tried and failed. Well, after all the mortals realize, oh, we cannot do it. But who's supposed to save Superman? No one is supposed to save Superman because Superman should not need any salvation. But in this instance, if Cam Newton goes in there and struggles, are you now going to bring in the mortal, P.J. Walker? Or do you lead with the mortal like every other superhero heroic story, because Cam Newton is Superman? Do you lead with the mortal of P.J. Walker? And if P.J. Walker and the Panthers are in need of relief, then you can bring in Superman to save the day. But if I start the movie with Superman and Superman dies, now who am I going to call? Somebody on the street and have him take an Uber to come save me? That's not how it goes down, Sal. So who is going to save the hero? That is the question. The hero should never need saving. But in this instance with Cam Newton, if you start him, then you have to pull him. You gonna insert P.J. Walker? That doesn't even make sense in narrative form, nor does it make sense in reality on Sundays.
Dog, I'm gonna have to hit you with the Jay-Z line. This ain't a movie, dog. Like, this ain't a movie. This is real life. We in week 11, bro. I don't give a damn who you bring in here, whether they flying, taking an Uber, or they hitch the ride. As long as they can come out here and help us perform, I'm taking that guy on my squad. In the NBA, players have their spots. I learned this. I've seen this. I don't have a spot on the court. My best spot is sitting down on the bench. But guys know where they can go, close their eyes and make it, right? They got their spots. They got their sweet spots. And players in the NFL have their ways. We all are conditioned beings, conditioned athletes. And then you got a team, and its mental makeup is just an aggregation of all of those guys in their certain ways. And then you bring a Cam Newton in, and he's just, like you said, the secret sauce. He's not the main ingredient. He's not the reason you're there. But, boy, it tastes so much better with it. And then, more importantly, without it, you start to realize it's just not as good. P.J. Walker, I'm not going to take shots at my man. But Matt Rule's already did him a favor. He's on a squad.
Don't do that.
I am doing it.
Don't do that.
You know why?
Don't do that.
Because in his opportunities, he has not shown that he can do what Cam Newton has done and will do.
What opportunity, Sal?
He started 2 games.
And they won.
Do you want to look at him or you want to look at them? They won. What did he do? Whoa, it's a little different. 56% completion percentage, 57% completion percentage. I'm not going to get into that. I told you I'm not going to attack P.J. Walker. He's a youngster in terms of experience. Cam Newton's not. This is a team that's on the bubble. If you're on the bubble, you're going to give it to a veteran, former MVP, who's returning home? Or are you going to give it to a guy who's like, I hope he can do it. I hope everyone can see it in him because he has promise. Matt Rule ain't crazy. He ain't hitching his wagon to a guy who ain't done it yet. Cam Newton's done it. And you know what's crazy? Last year really disparaged his reputation and perception of Cam Newton. That team wasn't a good team. Cam went there because he didn't have opportunities. He went there, did the best he could, started off fast, got COVID, kind of sunk down, then started to respond again. Last 7 weeks, Cam Newton, 13 total touchdowns, 3 interceptions. There's something magical with Cam Newton right now. I give you this. Consistent excellence, I'm not certain. But in terms of him being a special sauce to a team that already has a patty in defense, that already has a patty in this run game, hey, add a little of that sauce and let's taste how this burger tastes.
So let's establish this. Cam Newton is like a great broadcaster, or Cam Newton is like a great waiter. They're not the reason you're there, but they can enhance the dining experience or they can enhance the viewing experience.
I'm listening.
Cam Newton is not the reason the Panthers are there. He's not the reason the Panthers won 34-10.
1 week.
But Cam Newton enhanced that Panthers experience, and he enhanced our viewing experience. But Cam Newton wasn't the reason the Panthers won the game. Their top 7 defense, number 2 real defense, is the reason they won that football game. Okay. So Cam Newton does not need to become the starter because he's not the reason the Panthers are there in the first place. Okay. Let Cam just continue to enhance that experience. But he's never going to be this season the reason the Panthers are there. It's that Panthers defense.
Oh, yes. I'm not taking it away. 2 all-beef patty special sauce. Oh, damn. So 2 all-beef patties, defense, running game, special sauce, Cam Newton, lettuce, cheese, pickles, sesame seed. But here's the thing. Without Cam Newton, they don't score 34. Without Cam Newton, by simple math, they scored 20, right? I don't want to go there. Have they scored this many points any other game this year? Cam Newton ain't been there. You got a litmus test. You already got what you need in reference. You got 10 games, 9 games before Cam Newton. No one ever, Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker, nobody could get them to 34 points. Then all of a sudden they get there with Cam Newton. And you're going to look at Cam Newton like he's not the reason? How many points did P.J. Walker score? He didn't score any, dog. Good for him. I'm not trying to disparage the little man. I'm just saying Cam Newton in the building. And when Superman there, whether it's Cape Dusty or not, gotta see if he can still fly. Coming up, damn, good broadcaster, as he mentioned. Coming up, watch out for the Patriots. They won 4 straight, 1, 2, 3, 4. But we'll tell you just how dangerous they are. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Cam the man. Let's talk about those Patriots who blew out the Browns Sunday. Now won 4 straight games. During that span, they lead the league with nearly 38 points per game and are allowing just 12.5 points per game. So, Acho, how dangerous are the Patriots?
They are the 2nd most dangerous team in the National Football League to the Kansas City Chiefs. As long as Mac Jones is playing as good as Mac Jones is playing, then I think the Patriots are an incredibly dangerous team. Don't get lost in my love for the Kansas City Chiefs, because I'm saying that the Patriots are incredibly dangerous. I just also have love for these Chiefs.
Okay.
I think the Patriots can knock off anybody in the AFC. As it stands right now. The Patriots can knock off anybody in the AFC because they have a quarterback who is playing as good as anybody in the AFC. I can sit here and talk to you more so, but I'd rather show you, big dog. We're going to the big door. And I'm going to jog to the big door because I got my joggers on.
Because you want that tryout again. I knew you wanted to go back to the league.
Well, if I went back to the league, I wouldn't last half a play, let alone one play in its entirety. Patriots, most dangerous team in the National Football League because they have a quarterback who's doing 3 things exceptionally well: identification, realization, and location. Take a look at how Mac Jones has been balling, particularly last game. First thing, identification. Let me identify what are the Cleveland Browns doing. It looks like man across the board, 5-on-5. Well, if it's man across the board, then where do the Browns have help? The Browns have help at one place, inside linebacker Anthony Walker. That means if help is on the inside, where must the ball go? Ball got to go on the outside. Ball got to go to a corner. It has to go to a corner. Well, what receiver do I have running a route to a corner? Oh, I got my dog Hunter Henry. Quick, from the slot. Give me that 7 route. Hardest route to stop in the red zone. Identification, realization, location. Let's look at Mac Jones again. He does it again in the game, and he's so good at it at this point in time. Identification. Browns. It looks like they are in an all-out blitz. Identification. But wait a second. Somebody gonna tell, because I see the 2 safeties, so who's snitching? Who on the Browns defense is a snitch? Let's run it back. As soon as Hunter Henry goes in motion, no Browns defender goes in motion. That's not really an all-out blitz. They just showing pressure, identification, realization. Now I realize the ball has to go to this receiver, and location of Jacoby Myers on that beautiful ball. Identify what needs to happen. Realize how to make it happen. And lastly, location. Put the ball exactly where it needs to be. Those 3 reasons are why Mac Jones has been balling. And because Jones is balling, the Patriots are balling. Dangerous as can be, big dog.
Yes, I'm with you right there. The most dangerous right now, present day, just because they're playing their way.
Okay.
The Patriot way. Now, what is the Patriot way? Besides all of the stats and all of the references you can point to at the big board, it's a discipline that comes with this team. There's a certain discipline, and it's beyond just penalties. It's about your approach. Are you going to do something that you can replicate? Because that's how you build confidence. A lot of times coaches get frustrated because they see greatness in you, and then they see a flash of that. But then they also see you being subpar. Then they see that flash again, then you're subpar. With the Patriots, they've been slowly building this thing this entire season. With the Patriots, you can see them closing and getting that grip tighter and tighter every single week. That's why now they've won 4 straight. And in these 4 straight wins, 54 points, 45 points, and averaging 38 points a game. But only allowing 17 points a game. You know what that starts to add up to? That's a championship-worthy team. This is a true contender. One of 3 teams only to rank in the top 6 in scoring offense and scoring defense. Tell me if you believe in these other 2 teams. Arizona Cardinals, yeah, they got a shot, right? Buffalo Bills, yeah, they got a shot. And the New England Patriots. Where did this come from? I can hear people now. Wow, the Patriots are really surprising people this year. This ain't no surprise. They spent the most money in free agent history. And you know what? They got them a quarterback that is a mini-me of Tom Brady in terms of him and his technique and his mental approach to the game. You add all of that up, Bill Belichick's like, this is no surprise. Maybe happening faster than expected, but expected to happen. I'm looking at these Patriots like, wow, this team can replicate these type of performances week in, week out. Because they're doing it their way. They're being methodical, and they're playing with their own inner discipline within their skin. I see a lot of other teams go out there and pop off, even your Kansas City Chiefs. Problem with the Kansas City Chiefs is I don't think they feel confident in their approach just yet. The Chiefs, in their mind, are here, and where they are presently is somewhere else. Not the New England Patriots. The way that they're rolling, they could continue to roll.
The other reason, to me, the Patriots are incredibly dangerous is because what Bill Belichick does best is manipulate and take advantage of young quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks, quarterbacks that ain't been to the big dance before. That's what Bill Belichick feasts on. Bill Belichick looks at young quarterbacks like you, Marcellus Wiley, look at a double-double animal style.
Oh,
okay, you just ready to feast.
2 number 1s.
But when you think about how old the quarterbacks in the NFC are, you're reminded of how young the quarterbacks in the AFC are.
Okay.
Josh Allen is only 25.
Yeah.
Been to 1 AFC championship game. Lamar Jackson's only 24. He ain't been to no AFC championship games. Baker Mayfield, he's still a ripe 26.
Oh, that.
He ain't been to no championship games. Justin Herbert, as great as he is, he's only 23. He ain't been to the playoffs. Joe Burrow, as phenomenal as he has been in flashes, he too has not been in the playoffs, let alone completed a full season. So the reason the Patriots too are so dangerous is because what Bill Belichick thrives off of, young quarterbacks.
Young money.
That's what the AFC is presenting, outside of Patrick Mahomes, who too is young, just incredibly experienced. So you gotta be dangerous if you are the Patriots, because you're looking at all these other teams and you're thinking to yourself, oh, we can beat all of you. Not to mention, there's nobody in the AFC that's just that talented. There's no Cowboys roster outside of the Chiefs. No. There's no Cowboys roster with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Zeke, Michael Gallup, Cedric Wilson, Dak Prescott. There's no Rams roster, Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. There's no Bucs roster, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, nothing for that. No. There is none of that in the AFC, especially not with Derrick Henry hurt. So if you are the Patriots, you look at everybody like, oh, we're just as talented as all of you, and we are just as well. No, we're more well-coached than all of you. Patriots are the most dangerous, again, to me, outside of the Chiefs. Patriots can knock off anybody.
Yeah, you know, it's so good that Bill Belichick is in this position again because people forgot about how he had the foresight to build what he built in New England. That dynasty didn't just come by happenstance, just by chance, by luck. It was by design. Bill Belichick is the greatest defensive mind the game has ever seen, without doubt. Now, people call him the GOAT as a head coach, and you got to say that as well. But his special ingredient is, boy, I am a manipulator in terms of my defense. And now we'll look at him again, second in points per game allowed. What does that allow him to do? Allows them to stay in ball games. And if you stay in ball games, then the Patriot way takes over, which is more games are lost than won in the NFL. What does that mean? Go ahead and play. Like they always say, you hear it all the time. Teams that go on methodical 10-plus play drives will make a mistake. Well, over 4 quarters of football, Bill Belichick is just sitting there waiting to pounce on your mistakes. And he knows in 4 quarters of football, you will. So all he wants to do by his architecture is design a defense that's going to allow his teams to stay in it till you make that mistake. And then he doesn't have to go out there with this uber amount of talent. He doesn't have to go out there with all these speed demons and guys who could just blaze. He just needs guys who could play within themselves, close to the vest. And then when it's time to strike, let's strike. We can win the low-scoring ball games. But now, because Mac Jones and his emergence, they starting to high and fly out there, man. This team is going to be potent. This team's going to be deadly when it counts.
Well, let's focus on a couple things. Number one, it seems like you're saying Bill Belichick is like me in relationships, just waiting on them to make a mistake. That's what it seems.
Oh, we got to talk about that.
That's what it
I got a
seems
poem for you.
That's what it seems like you were saying. But let's also acknowledge this. The Patriots have become more dangerous as Mac Jones has become better.
There you go.
Those two things have worked in congruence. Like, Mac Jones has not always played like this the duration of the season, and we shouldn't have expected him to. He was a rookie. But Mac Jones has become exponentially better. I always say this. Rookies grow exponentially. Veterans grow incrementally. We have seen exponential growth from Mac Jones. And as he has grown exponentially, the Patriots' talent collectively has increased exponentially. These Patriots beat the Chargers by 3.
Yeah.
Then they went on and they beat the Carolina Panthers by 18. Then they went on and they dismantled the Cleveland Browns. So the Patriots are getting better and better and better as the weeks go on. And Mac Jones is getting better and better and better as weeks go on. Mac Jones was always good with ball placement location. But now that I've seen him master realization, what's the defense in, identification, what do I need to do about what the defense is in, and location, where do I need to put the ball after I've realized what the defense is in and identified what I need to do about it, yo, the Patriots, to me, can beat any team in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bill Belichick, it don't have to be young and inexperienced because I don't know what you call Baker Mayfield, but what he did to Baker Mayfield wasn't right. And it wasn't right, dog. Like he has 70-some yards passing. Like, for real, in the 3rd quarter.
You're so disrespectful.
Man, look, I play football. I ain't got to come up here and put a suit on and then change the way I see the game. Dog, 70 yards passing? Good luck. You know what it is? Belichick, and look, with his quarterback, 403 yards that started this win streak, right? Then he drops down to 210. 122. They still win. 268. Point is, this is Belichick, dog. He found him another enforcer. He found Mini-Me. He found Tom Brady again and said, I will allow you to go out there and exploit what you see in deficiency on the other side, and weakness on the other side. As you said, realization. But don't go out there flexing. We ain't about that. Some games you will have that opportunity. Some games you won't. But it will be dictated by the game plan. And the game plan is actually being played on the sideline with the GOAT, with the greatest coach of all time and the greatest defensive mind of all time, Bill Belichick. Coming up, former Patriot Tom Brady is struggling right now in Tampa, missing Bill. We'll give you our level of concern for the Bucs next on Speak for Yourself. What does that mean? The Bucs have dropped back-to-back games after losing to Washington. Tom Brady has thrown 4 interceptions in that span, and Bruce Arians called the team, quote, very dumb. After Sunday's loss, chill, coach. But the Bucs still have the second-best odds to win the Super Bowl, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Tacho, What's your level of concern for the Bucs? Not concerned?
Not. That's my level. Not. The reason I'm not concerned is if you take 2 Hall of Famers off of any team, what you expect them to do. And right now, Antonio Brown, been injured. Right now, Rob Gronkowski goes from having bruised ribs to back spasms, been injured. You took out 3 of their 4 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl. AB got 2, if I'm not mistaken. Gronk got 1, and Leonard Fournette got 1. So what you expect to happen? Those are their best players. Those are their leaders. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about Tom Brady because we know what happens when Tom Brady flips a switch. We saw him throw that pass high to Mike Evans that ends up getting intercepted. I watched the entirety of that game a couple times because Devin White, at linebacker for the Bucs, is a beast. So I'm not really tripping because the Bucs are going to be fine. Give him AB back. Give him Gronk back. Both those players are supposed to come back this week, if not next. As soon as they return, it's going to be lights out for the opposing teams. Furthermore, maybe we had Gronk on this show in the offseason. I don't recall. I think we had Gronk on the show. And he said how, like, Tom Brady was sending out text messages over the course of the playoffs, reminding his players to stay locked in. When it's time to lock in, the Bucs are going to lock in. When it's time for Tom Brady to get everybody right, he going to get everybody right. Now, it might not get them all the way right to a Super Bowl because the Cowboys look great. Cardinals look great. I think the Rams still have talent. But Tom Brady can get the Bucs right enough to handle the business they need to handle, get to the playoffs, maybe get a bye. If you don't get a bye, at least you get a 2 or 3 seed, and you will be just fine. Give Washington credit. Washington played a great game. Give Washington credit. So they had a 19-play, 10-minute touchdown drive at the end of the game. Typically, it's a 4-minute drill. Typically, it's just, hey, we want to melt the clock on a 4-minute drill. Washington ran a 10-minute drill, led to a touchdown, put the game out of reach. So I'm going to give Washington their credit, but I ain't worried at all about the Bucs.
Yeah, that same Washington team that played them well in the playoffs last year. Maybe they just have their number of some kind of respect. But look, I'm not concerned at all. Well, let me say low to no concern because, look, Tom Brady is resilient. I think the attribute that jumps out to me the most is how he just can take all adversity and then get to still where he wants to go. Think about this. Tom Brady has taken every different route to hoist that Lombardi trophy, whether it's, hey, let me lean on my special teams. Let me lean on my defense. Hey, let's lean on the offense. Let me be prolific as a passer. Let me come back. Whatever you want to say, he's going to get there, but he's not going to take the same route every single time. Last year, 7-5. People are discounting him, laughing at him. Oh, man, don't even know it's 4th down. And then what does he do? Like you said, hit that switch. Snap. Here they go again. But I have no concern. So I have low concern because it's like you're in that position again. And look, you're a human being. You're going to doubt someone when they see all this adversity. And this team right now, obviously, a little bit of a struggle. But they have wins over the Cowboys. They have wins over the Falcons, whatever you want to think of them. They have wins over the Patriots as well. So a win over those teams makes me start to say no concern. And then I start getting my nerd on. And I start looking at these numbers. I'm like, we better stop playing with these Buccaneers. You know that last year they had the 2nd-ranked passing offense. This year they're 1st. Do you know that these Buccaneers, 3rd-best scoring offense last year, this year, 3rd? And the last 5 Super Bowl champions, all top 5 in scoring offense. They're right where they need to be again. Taking a little adversity, but Tom Brady, being their leader, being resilient, is going to respond as well.
The only reason, Sel, that if you're a Bucs fan, you should keep your eyes peeled is because there's a quote, and it's, I'd rather be lucky than good. Sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good.
Sometimes?
But the emphasis is on sometimes.
Yeah, it better be.
Because I would rather be good than lucky more times than not. And it appears that who's going to get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC is going to be a luck play. When the Buccaneers beat the Cowboys should have won that game because the Buccaneers were very unlucky. Leonard Fournette, pass goes between his hands. Mike Evans, what are you doing? Pass goes between your hands. The Buccaneers were very unlucky. And the game against Washington, once again, anything that could go wrong did go wrong. Murphy's Law. Leonard Fournette, ball goes between his hands once again. Tom Brady, ball floats high, just very un-Tom Brady-like. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong. If you are the Bucs, the only reason to be worried, I don't want this to be a luck play. I don't want this to be a flip of the coin who's going to go to the Super Bowl. I want to make sure that week in, week out, I am better than opponents, particularly Washington. I understand, Sel, last year, Bucs were gelling. They started off 7-5, if I'm not mistaken, ended off 11-5, something like that. Won 8, their last 8 games, their last 10 games. But this is a different year. Everything is up for the taking. In the NFC, in the AFC, any team that wants to be dominant, you can have it. Whoever wants to win the MVP, you can have it. If y'all watch college football, the Heisman Trophy, it is up for the taking this year. There isn't a Devontae Smith who is statistically killing it. In the NFL, there isn't an Aaron Rodgers who is statistically killing it. It's up for the taking. Somebody just has to go take it. And unfortunately, the Bucs just have not gone to take it. They can still take it because it's up for the taking, but I would rather somebody, the Bucs in this case, just go stake your claim and say, nah, this is mine. Y'all can fight over seconds, but I'm going to get this one right here.
Oh, let's talk about that. You say you don't want luck to be at play in this situation. But luck is always at play. It doesn't always dictate turns, but it's always at play. Last year, Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs, how their offensive line looked. Luck was at play. Like, you know, you got to make sure that your luck doesn't dictate your turns, but it also doesn't hurt your chances to go out there and be successful. And no one can control that. You put yourself in the best position, and then the luck will follow you. But at the same time, injuries at the wrong time, that's an unlucky play. Let's talk about what's going on right now in the NFL. No one is standing out, right? And I don't know, I'm so weird. I always go back to these moments. You ever go to the club? You go to clubs, or are you just more of a loungy guy?
I'm not even an out guy. I be at the crib.
You be at the crib?
I be at the crib.
Damn. Playing that piano, huh, Kawhi? Uh-huh. Okay, Renaissance man, whatever. I'm going to catch you out. I can't wait to catch you out. I'll throw out in these streets. Then you be like, why he out in these streets? See, you got to know how to come back at me. But here's the time. When I used to go out, and you got your eye on somebody. You know how it goes. And you just sit back. You're like, all right, let me. All right, level one is free. I'm anxious. So as soon as I see somebody, I'm like, hi. And she's like, wait a minute. That was too much, too fast. Like, calm down. Relax. Don't be anxious. But then there were times I was reserved. I was like, let me check out mannerisms. You know, let me just see who she with, who she know, what's going on, what's the flow. And meanwhile, I'm having my fun. But that eye, you know, I got that peripheral vision. I can see. And then finally, I'm like, okay, opportunity strikes. No one's around her, and she's right there. She's kind of looking up in the air. I'll just say, hello, how you doing? You know, Marcel's, why, you know what I'm saying? What it do, babe? You know. Anyway, I talk, she talks, we talk. And then, you know, I used to hear more times than I ever thought. You know what? No one's really been speaking to me tonight. I was like, yeah, really? Because I just came over here just to say, hey. She's like, yeah, you know, guys come up and then they just walk away and stuff like that. Intimidated. Who is not scared to go take this is the conversation I'm having right now. Because sometimes you can be like, yo, I can't have that. I can't do that. And some teams are in there. I think Carolina is a team that if they get over their fear and just flex, Carolina could go out there and make some noise. Green Bay is sitting there like, man, we got so much inner turmoil in terms of, is Aaron all in? Aaron is all in, but Aaron is not here. But Aaron, there's no team, Dallas Cowboys, you keep telling me this and I don't want to believe you. Hey, is our coach going to get in the way? Some of this decision-making, blah, blah, are we focused? Every team has an issue, but only one team right now in this conversation doesn't have that issue. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were just there. They know they can respond to adversity. They know they can go out there and do this thing. So unless another team can stick their head out and say, I conquer this, Tampa Bay Bucs is the one you got to believe in.
But you know how it goes, Sel. They always say, don't play with your food, man. Don't play with your food.
Because who didn't have a food fight growing up? Like, that's so silly people say that.
Eventually, it's going to come back to bite you. Like, you can play with fire all you want. You told me what? You was a pyro growing up?
Pyro.
My dog was a pyro growing up. But eventually, play with fire if you want to. It's going to burn you. Now, like you've told me, it can warm you.
Yeah.
And it warmed the Bucs last year.
Yeah.
They was playing with fire. It warmed them all the way to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But this potentially could be a different fate. Remember, the Bucs playoffs last year. First time, Taylor Heineke, because Alex Smith was not present. Second game, Drew Brees' worst statistical game in the history of his playoff career.
Why?
Third game, Aaron Rodgers. They just didn't go for it. Now, Aaron Rodgers also didn't have the best of games, but Aaron Rodgers, 3rd and 8, 4th and 8, didn't necessarily go for it. Now, to some degree, the Bucs made their own luck. You know what they say, create your own luck. Or luck is simply when preparation meets opportunity. And the Bucs are always prepared, and they were very opportunistic. But you just don't know this year round. And if I'm a Bucs fan, I'm looking around like, oh, Rams, y'all just got beat twice in a row. Cowboys, y'all lost to the Broncos. Cardinals, y'all lost to the Packers, and the Packers ain't had none of their dudes. Aaron Rodgers, you missing games in line of folks? Let's just go ahead and claim this 1 seed. They're not doing that. That's my only problem.
Let's go on 4D if that's a thing. I don't know what the hell. I could just see Collins, what is it, Collins power rankings over there. Tennessee at 1. the herd hierarchy, is that scaring you? Nope. Tennessee, Dallas, yeah, if they show up. Green Bay, Buffalo, Patriots. Ooh, come on, Tampa. Back to back. Coming up, the Rams' Monday night plans did not go so well. I'll tell you if they're still Super Bowl contenders. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
The Rams blown out by the 49ers last night and have now lost 2 straight games. Matthew Stafford, another 2 interceptions in the first 2 drives, including a pick 6. OBJ made his Rams debut but finished with only 2 catches. LA currently has the 3rd best odds to win the Super Bowl according to Fox Bet Sports Book. So, Sel, you still think the Rams are Super Bowl contenders?
Still, I never said they were. That's you over here echoing that, thinking it's me saying it because it's just your echo. Nah, B, I don't believe in the Super Bowl contending Rams like you do. I think this is a team right now that is doubting this leader. And as Rakim told us, follow your leader, you know? They can't follow their leader when they doubting their leader. And their leader, Matthew Stafford, has reminded them why there is doubt on his resume. No playoff wins, right? And you can start saying, well, it's Detroit, where's the talent, whatever it is. But now he's in L.A., where the stars are bright, where the lights are bright, where we see it all. And these last 2 weeks, we've been watching, and we have not seen it all. Matthew Stafford lets a Tennessee Titan team without Derrick Henry outperform him, with Ryan Tannehill, who's having an average year by his standards. Then he backs that up by going up there and seeing Jimmy GQ. Oh, my cutie pie. Went out there and lit him up, sliced him up, diced him up, and more importantly, didn't respond to Jimmy GQ. So now Ryan Tannehill and Jimmy GQ sniped this offense. Has now reduced this offense to just 13 points a game the last 2 weeks. And I know he goes against their defense, but let's not talk about his offense. They lost their mechanism. They lost their glue. I saw this happen in Cleveland when Jarvis Landry went out this season. The glue, the guy who brings it all together, you know, part of the culture, kind of like the catalyst. And all of a sudden, you look at this, Robert Woods is not in the building. All of a sudden, I'm looking at this offense like, who's doing all the dirty work? Like Cooper Kupp, 3rd downs, drop, or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm Cooper Kupp, and he's great, right? But the problem is you need somebody who's going to go in there and put that hard hat on with Cooper Kupp, with the guys who really want it, and make this happen. Who's going to do that? You add Odell, who I love, but 2 catches and Glosson ain't going to do it. This team got punched in the mouth, knew it was coming, took the hit, didn't fight back properly, and now looking at their leader like, man, this is what they told me about you. I didn't want to believe them, and for most of the season, I didn't believe them. But right now, we got something going on. So, nah, you can't follow the leader if you're doubting the leader.
I like that take. I love that take, actually. The Rams, however, are still Super Bowl contenders, and it's very simple, Sel. Yeah, the Rams got punched in the mouth. But only one team in the NFC that's currently in the playoff picture can punch the Rams in the mouth.
That's
the Dallas Cowboys. So the Rams are Super Bowl contenders because their biggest weakness, nobody can exploit it when it matters. Cardinals aren't an overly physical team. The Bucs, their running game incredibly porous. The Green Bay Packers, their running game isn't anything to be frightful of. Carolina Panthers, McCaffrey gonna hurt you, but he's not gonna hurt you in a physical way. He's gonna hurt you out the backfield. He's gonna hurt you rushing on the edges. Yeah. The Saints, their running game is so confused because their passing game is so confused. So the Rams can be exploited, but only one team in the NFC can actually exploit their greatest weakness. So, reminds me of myself.
Of what?
Reminds me of myself.
What, weakness?
No, my weaknesses, Sal. My weaknesses.
Oh, let's hear this.
I got a lot of weakness. It's confession time.
Let me hear.
Confession time. Just when I thought I said. Anyway, so I posted that little piano video yesterday, 2 days ago.
Little. Don't make them make you feel that's little.
So look, I posted this piano video and people start boosting me. You know, man, Acho, and you can play the piano. You're so empathetic. Da da da. I'm like, here's what y'all don't realize.
That's pathetic.
Here's what y'all don't realize, man.
Shut up.
I can't be exploited. I got my vices. I don't drink, not necessarily, but I got my vices. The casino. You take me to the casino, man, I'll be in there from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. Hit me.
Crackhead.
Let me get another one. Hit me.
Crackhead.
But the kicker is you got to get me around a casino to actually exploit my greatest weakness. That's my greatest vice.
Oh, really?
If you don't get me around a casino, I'll be chilling. Renaissance man, play the piano, I'll be reading books, all that. I'm great and nice for me parents, but you get me around a casino, you might not see me for a couple days.
Oh, man.
you can't get the Rams around a team that can exploit their greatest weakness.
You sure?
Because only one team in the playoff picture of the NFC can do that. That's the Cowboys. So as long as the Rams don't have that matchup, or as long as they don't see that matchup until the NFC Championship game, they're going to be all right. The Titans exploited that weakness. They exploited that physical weakness. Derrick Henry wasn't even really there, and they didn't even run for a ton of yards. Now, we know the Niners exploited that weakness to the highest degree.
Okay.
But nobody else in the NFC playoff picture is about to be overly physical with these Rams because nobody else in the NFC playoff picture is an overly physical football team except your Dallas Cowboys. So they're still Super Bowl contenders in my mind, sir.
In my mind, you're no longer a gambler like I thought. I thought you was Pookie on crack, bro, because you used to talk about me gambling 4 a.m., 4 p.m. and all that. You ain't no real gambler. If you can only gamble when you at the casino, you a casual gambler. You ain't got no dice in your pocket right now ready to go get this phone. You ain't got no get life on you right now. And a real gambler about that life no matter where. Going into an office meeting, excuse me 1 second, CEO, sir.
They got apps for that, sir.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got apps
You
for
can
that.
roll dice on the app?
You can do a lot of things.
Man, God dang. All right, here's the thing I want to talk about. It's not about other teams. It's not about anybody else. It's not about the casino Acho needs to go to trigger him. It's about who the Rams are or who the Rams are not. Rams have put themselves in position outside of Super Bowl champions and contenders of the recent years. Top 8 in scoring defense. That's all the teams that won the Super Bowl last 6 years. Rams are not top 8. All of a sudden, you start looking at Rams in scoring offense. Last 5 Super Bowl champs, top 5. What are y'all? Not top 5. They're close, and we know that they're close. And then, look, this thing can right itself very fast. But here's the problem. Matthew Stafford is not a young quarterback. He's not an inexperienced quarterback. And his resume spoke for itself. And then we saw this season his exact resume on full display. He's great when he's great, and when he's not, he's not. My boy, Keith Walker-Green, the hardest hitting football player I ever played with. It was my younger levels, Pop Warner to high school. But point being, Rodney Harrison included, whoever you want to name, I've never seen somebody hit harder than Keith Walker-Green. Boy texted me talking about, man, I didn't know, he a Rams fan, I didn't know we had Russell Westbrook as our quarterback. I was like, what you mean? Like, man, when he hot, he hot. When he not, he not. And I'm looking at Matthew Stafford like, yo, let me find out that you're great when they need you to be good, but you're only good when they need you to be great. And that may be a problem for these Rams because that's his resume. Like, look at his resume in totality. You're like, yo, special. My boy Dennis Northcutt, another former NFL player, first day when he played for the Detroit Lions, hit me up. Wiley, I ain't seen a quarterback like this in my life. Matthew Stafford has that gun, that cannon. But then if you start adding up the results of those shots, you start to realize maybe not. I'm just hoping the Rams don't have to deal with what the resume has said who he is.
That's a bar. Great when you need to be good and good when you need to be great. Wileyism, hashtag. The reason the Rams don't need to be concerned, though, is simple. It's all about matchups. This NFC playoff picture. It's not at all about location. Remember last year, the Bucs went on the road, win. Ended up at the Super Bowl in the COVID year, won the Super Bowl. So as simple as that. They went on the road, they did it. This year in the NFC playoff picture, y'all track with me, y'all remember this. Green Bay Packers are the 1 seed. They've lost to the Saints in the NFC. The Saints are currently the 6th seed. Okay, the 2 seed, the Arizona Cardinals, they lost to the Green Bay Packers without the Packers' top 3 or 4 receivers. Okay, the 3 seed, the Dallas Cowboys, well, they lost to the Bucs. This is a Bucs team that just lost to Washington. Well, remember, this Rams team also beat the top flight NFC teams. So as I look at it, it's really just one team's beat you, one team's lost to you. Everybody done beat everybody. Everybody's lost to everybody. Yeah. There's no reason to mark them off as contenders because they're capable of beating anybody who's top flight in the NFC, and they're capable of losing to anybody who's top flight in the NFC. But as long as they're capable of beating you, they in the race. Track and field.
Let's go.
113.
Man.
I know. A minute 13 into the show. As long as somebody's capable of winning, we always give that person a chance. Right? If we look at a race and we're like, I mean, this dude does have a PR that's better than so-and-so's PR. A dude does have a personal best that's better than the other person's personal best. Yep. At any point in time, they're capable of tapping into their personal best. Yeah. We disqualify people when we know, oh, they've never run a time as fast as this other person's time. Usain Bolt, we knew nobody could beat him because when he went to the line, we would always say, nobody has ever been as fast as Usain Bolt. Right. Even Justin Gatlin in his fastest is not that fast. But if the Rams play their best, they can beat anybody in the NFC. Packers play their best, they can beat anybody. Cardinals play their best, they can beat anybody. Cowboys play their best, they can beat anybody. Those are the Bucs play their best, they can beat anybody. Those 5 teams are all Super Bowl contenders. Even if the Saints play their best, they can't beat anybody in the NFC.
Yeah,
if the Panthers play their best, they can't beat anybody in the NFC. If the Vikings play their best, they cannot beat anybody in the NFC. But those 5 teams at the top sell all Super Bowl contenders.
Yes, yes, yes. But now we have to level the playing field in our minds to see how this will play out, because obviously we're not there in reality just yet. And I look at the Rams team and I don't know what to think. This is the same team that beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but it's also the same team the Arizona Cardinals mollywopped, Tennessee Titans beat down, and then the San Francisco 49ers, which is lesser than all those teams got after. And the same 49ers team that the week before had their season low in the running game, but 39 rushing yards, and then come out and have their season high against you, Rams. Make it make sense. I think the Rams are guilty of this, that they're reading their own team roster, and then they're trying to roll that team roster out there like that's going to get them some points. Like, sometimes when you show up and everybody thinks that you're supposed to be the man, and you think you the man, and you too fresh, Tiffany Cambridge. When you show up too fresh for them, it's all of a sudden they got another gear for you, because they're like, oh, let me humble you right now. Rams, all these big splashes. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, they get Von Miller and Odell They got Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. the last 2 weeks.
That's crazy when you really think about it.
And it's been their worst 2 weeks because they rolling that roster out. Every time I see somebody in a full jogging suit, Gucci suit, I know he broke. Or, look, something ain't adding up. Now, you go understated New England Patriots style if you want a dynasty. You try to do it this way, Gucci suit and all that. I'm like, you got a couple bucks. Say, yeah, I get it. You got the fresh Phantom Room rental. Yeah, I get it. But I know if I talk to your CPA, he's like, yo, cash flow low, bro. Because you're not making sense. This team doesn't look like it's been through the rigors of team building. It just seemed like they rolling the roster out there, then get smacked in the mouth. Coming up, Superman has landed once again in Carolina. Tell you how far Cam can carry the Panthers. That's next on Speak For Yourself. Unless he's from Memphis, then he got his money right. And Cam Newton made a big impact in his return to the Panthers, finishing with a touchdown run and pass. Cam will get most of the first-team reps in practice and could start Sunday against Washington and his former coach, Ron Rivera. Carolina is currently 5-5 and are the 7th seed in the NFC. That's playoffs right there. So, Acho, how far can Cam carry the Panthers?
He can't.
He can. He can.
He can't. No, Cam can't carry the Panthers, but he can go along for the ride, and that's perfectly fine. Let's not change the narrative. So I hate when people do this. And maybe because you were the Cam Newton and I was the other people, right? You were the superstar that would come in on a mega deal off a big name and a big contract. And I was the one who was there from April, May, June, July, trying to do all the gritty, grungy work, carrying people's shoulder pads. I understand that I might be speaking from my experience.
Let's go.
But what I hate about this situation is the Carolina Panthers have had a top 2 defense prior to Cam Newton showing up. The Carolina Panthers had won 4 football games prior to Cam Newton showing up. The Carolina Panthers have been in these trenches working prior to Cam Newton showing up. Cam Newton's going to show up, throw 3 passes, complete 2 of them for 0 yards, and we're going to ask the question, how far can Cam Newton carry the Panthers? As if Cam Newton is the one doing the work. Cam Newton is a part of the ride, and Cam Newton is bringing so much excitement. He scored 2 touchdowns in the red zone. He contributed the job he needed to do. But I hate changing this narrative now that Cam Newton is the one deserving of all the praise and glory when the Panthers been working. Again, I understand. I'm speaking from my experience. I've been the blue-collar guy as blue as my suit.
My collar wasn't blue?
No, it was not. It was red. Your collar was blue for a period.
What do you mean?
When you left Columbia, things changed. Act like you know. So I get that I come from my experience. I was a lunch pail kind of guy.
Now you the only one that brought
I was a clock in, clock out, get down and dirty kind of guy.
Oh, you the one.
Blood, sweat, tears, vomit, I was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And you would show up with your dat dude chain on. You would show up with your chain on, flossing and glossing, with your Rolls Royce. I was pushing a Hyundai. That's the difference between me and you. And you were Cam Newton. You would get all the praise for work you didn't necessarily do. You would get all the praise because you lived off a big name, because you had some sacks in Buffalo, because you had a couple sacks in San Diego. Then you showed up getting all this praise that you didn't necessarily deserve.
Man, you know I'm
It's
coming.
personal.
Yeah, it is personal because you took shots at me.
So I am simply saying Cam can't carry the Panthers, but Cam can go along for the ride with these Panthers to the playoffs.
Okay.
Every now and then, the Panthers will get tired. Hey, Cam, can you drive? And I appreciate you driving. Cam is going to work a shift, but Cam is not going to work all of these shifts. Please.
You got Cam being an RV driver cross country. Hey, when I get tired, hey, won't you take this wheel? Hell no, this is Cam RV. This Cam team now, bruh. Better respect the star status in the building. Superman has landed. Okay, since Cam can't carry them, he can only go for the ride. Can P.J. Walker carry him? Anybody? Can Sam Darnold? I mean, not even say that fully. Can P.J. Walker carry him? I don't know, Acho, how you play with your calculator and your math in your life, but if someone has 29 pass attempts and 0 touchdowns, and then someone else has 4 pass attempts and 1 passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown, and they both happened in the first 2 plays, I don't know. Maybe I want to level that 29-0 to that 1-4, 2-4 actually, and want to see if I gave 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. If I gave them more, will I get as much? That's all this conversation's about. It ain't about how you grew up, and sorry for you, you had to be at OTAs. I was in L.A. chilling. Yes, right, and still showed up to ball out. Talk about your collar blue and you bleeding blood and sweat and tears. My collar was blue, and I ain't never, ever had to go out there and say somebody else didn't work as hard. We all worked hard. We just had different results. You think it wasn't a dude that worked as hard as me got even better results than me? And Cam Newton, like, don't use my success against me. He's not going to be a prisoner of his success. Did this team play, like you said, 9 games before Cam got there? Yes, Acho. Yes,
sir.
Rhetorical. Did they ever score 34 points? Nah. Why did they score 34? Oh, just by coincidence that Cam is there. Cam scores 2 touchdowns. Early in the game, gets them rolling, gets them energized. C-Mac goes crazy. Defense does what it does. And next thing you know, this is the best win of the year for this team, right? So if they're feeling their best, at least their post-game comments certainly said that, they're feeling their best, they performed their best, why not go with whatever made that happen? Cam Newton, you know, the RV driver, the guy who you say is just too much star to go out there and really take this team far. Bar. So the thing is, you got to look at this team for what it is. Now it has a cherry on top, a special sauce. Superman's in the building, and we're going to fly as far as he takes us.
So you're not flying as far as Superman is taking y'all. Because Superman is in the building, but he's walking alongside y'all. Y'all are all walking. Cam Newton is sitting there walking as the Panthers are walking. And everybody is walking in the same direction. A direction that led them to a big win over the Cardinals, albeit Kyler Murray was not present. But everybody's moving in the same direction. Here's the problem, Sal.
There's no problem.
You're going to come in and you're going to let Cam Newton take credit for something that everybody else has done.
What?
Cam deserves the ounce of credit that he earned, but let's not give him no more than that, and let's not give him any less than that. Let's give him his proper due.
Yeah.
But carry the Panthers, we gonna see, because remember the last 4 games of the season, Bucs, Bills,
It's gangster.
Saints,
It's gangster.
Bucs.
That's who you want. You want a star out there.
They are going to get maybe to the playoffs as a wild card.
Yeah.
That is where it starts, and that is where it stops. But regardless of what happens, it's not going to be Cam Newton that got him there, and it's not going to be Cam Newton that kept them from getting there. Cam Newton is going to be present. Cam is ready and available. Here, Cameron Newton, here, yes, he's in class, checking attendance. He there. But he's not the reason the Panthers are where they are. Don't do that. Don't act like you just now started watching the Carolina Panthers.
Hold on. What were the Carolina Panthers before Cam got
4
there?
and 5.
4 and 5.
And now they're 5 and 5.
Now they're 5 and 5, and they had their best performance. So guess what? Why not us? I can hear Cam right now sitting there as he got this hat on and it's big, and so you far away. Then he just opens up them drapes. Why not us? Cam Newton in the building. This team is ready to make a play. This team is looking out there and saying, who's scary? Who is really scary? You could be scared of the Dallas Cowboys' talent, but will they always execute? You could be scared of the Tampa Bay Bucs because they're the Super Bowl champions, but hey, we just saw them lose to the Washington no-mascot football team. So now you're looking at, if you're a Carolina Panther, like, why not us? And be real. Don't do this. Cam Newton, at wherever he is coming down the hill, is still higher than P.J. Walker's ever climbed up that same hill. And if I'm on your team, I can tell you right now, if I'm a Carolina Panther, don't you dare tell me we can go as far with P.J. Walker as we can with Cam Newton. There's something about Cam Newton and his energy. Whenever you're around Cam Newton, this is Cam Newton. Every time I see Cam Newton, it's kind of weird. Like, Cam is one of those kind of cats. You see C-Mac, you're like, hey, what's up, big dog? Respect. You can see P.J. Walker, what's up, dog? You see Cam, you say, hi, Cam. Like, you get into your zone of who Cam Newton is. That's what they're going to tap into. You keep talking about the measurables. Let's talk measurables. P.J. Walker had a 74 passer rating. Cam Newton had a 116.
So we saw, don't make me do this.
Measurables, immeasurables, you can't even
bring the plays back.
What Cam Newton brings
Bring the plays back.
Energy. What plays?
Bring the plays back.
Oh, you got receipts?
Yeah, we got receipts because while Cam Newton scored his touchdowns, and we got to give him credit for the touchdowns he scored, you always got to ask yourself what? You got to ask yourself how. You can't just see a result. You got to say, how did the result get there?
Oh, come on.
Cam Newton, he scored from what, Sel? The 2-yard line?
Well, and
then he
that's
scored again from the 1-yard line.
20.
It's hard to get there, though, first.
Yeah, but then it's harder once you're there.
Look at what Cam did.
What did he do?
Look at his slant routes.
What did he do?
Look at his slant routes. Look at his out routes. This is Cam Newton in the game.
Oh, you ain't going to show me an incompletion.
Yeah, he
only had one?
Yeah, he had
show me
two completions
show
for
me
1
another
yard.
incompletion since you got receipts.
The ball was 3,
That's a receipt.
well, as Marcel's will say it, 5 yards behind the receiver. Like, is that the Cam Newton that you're longing to start?
Dog,
is this Cam Newton, which was a touchdown, but if the DB turns his head around, this is what the Cardinals are telling me. This is a pick going the other way.
Oh, come on. He said he was
going the other way.
He was eating a bowl of cereal last week. Now you want him to throw darts?
But that's
he
my
threw
point.
better than P.J. Walker.
Don't set Cam Newton up for failure.
Why not?
And that's what you're going to do. This is a man who just got here last Wednesday. He ain't even been on the Panthers roster for a week. Right. And now you want him to start?
Yes, this is the game we play. We all set up for failure because on the flip side of failure is success. And Cam Newton is not scared to flip this thing around for this team and make them successful. You talking about ask the what and ask the how. I'm going to ask the who. Hey, when we go out there and we out there, let's have a turkey bowl. You playing turkey bowl? You about turkey bowl? Okay. So we're going to have a turkey bowl. Now, we filming this and we're going to broadcast this. We're going to have a turkey bowl. And I want you to go out there and start drafting by what's and hows. Watch my team. I'm just looking at muscles. I'm looking at dudes still in shape. I ain't looking at no dad bods. I want who's. And guess who is in the building? Cam Newton. They don't have options. Sam Darnold is not the fix, even if he were healthy. Thank God he's not healthy, maybe, because this could salvage their season and give them a real chance, because Cam is there because of the IR status of Sam. Is P.J. Walker really the answer for you, Acho? Like, would you really want to lead all the troops out there, the other guys, the other 50-plus, because of P.J. Walker? Or would you say, I don't know what Cam is being real, but I know when Cam is right, Cam is special.
There is a value in basketball, you know this because you loved this dude back when he was on your squad, to a sixth man. There was a value to Montrezl Harrell on the Clippers a couple years back. Huge value to James Harden when he was a part of those Thunder squads as a sixth man. Talent-wise, could he have been a starter? Duh. He went on to win an MVP, went on to be in the MVP conversation for the next decade. But there was a value to an energizer bunny off the bench. Football is not necessarily basketball, but there's proven to be a value to Taysom Hill and the New Orleans Saints. Did you ever want him to be the starter? Absolutely not. But there was proven to be a value to him. There is a proven value to Cam Newton in the red zone for this Panthers team. We just saw it last game. Do we want him to be a starter? Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It was broke.
You trying to fix something
that was broke.
Now, last game, last game it wasn't broke. Last game the Cardinals were dismantled by the Panthers.
Yeah.
But first drive, fumble, Cardinals forced. Second drive, Cardinals went 4 and out, turnover on downs. Third drive, Cardinals threw an interception. The Panthers' defense is the reason they dominated that ball game. The Panthers are not broken as it stands with how they're utilizing Cam. Stop trying to fix something that ain't broke.
Oh, God. How many touchdowns did P.J. Walker score? Anybody? 29 pass attempts. Anybody? 3 rush attempts. Cam got 4 passes and like what? How many runs he get? 3? He got 7 plays and 2 touchdowns, and you got an argument to say, let's not see more of that. I want to see more. This is how I made my name in the league. I get drafted behind Phil Hansen. Y'all don't know who he is, monster. And Bruce Smith. Y'all know who he is, monster, right? Then I just come in for 3 plays, 5 plays, 10 plays, 20 plays, 30 plays. And if you get a sack in that play, 30 plays, he got a sack. Maybe if he played the whole game, he get 2. And that's how.
But maybe not, and you know that.
Hey, yeah, and
that's the real fear.
But I'm not scared. Like, I play football because it's like, why am I scared? I know I'm good. Cam Newton knows he's good. Cam Newton knows he was in a bad situation last year and made the most of it. Cam Newton also knows he has this opportunity. And look, dog, I don't know how to explain this, but you talk about the world and the universe is in sync with you. When you come from eating a bowl of cereal one weekend, next weekend you're on a football field, and in your first play you score a touchdown, and then in your next play you score a touchdown, and then that team scores the most points it has this year, and then you get your biggest win of the year. Who wants to end that song? And I think Matt Rule is sitting there right now like, dog, I'm sorry to say. I know Cam only did the chorus. All he said was, yeah. But guess what? We going to hear a lot more of that, yeah, coming up. Coming up, there are a lot of simple questions. Why did I say coming up? In the NFL, but sometimes they have complicated answers. Oh, this is a new segment, y'all. Y'all got to check it out. We'll get into all of that. Simple questions, complicated answers. Next on Speak for Yourself. You still got a lot of time to eat, dog. I know.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Now, look, y'all. First 10 weeks of the NFL season, they've been confusing, big dog. I don't know if you confused, but I'm confused. The NFL season has given us way more questions than answers. So we're going to try a new segment called Simple Questions.
Simple questions.
Complicated answers. Oh, because that's what this whole NFL season has been about. Now, I'm going to start with the most simple question possible, Self. Who's the best team in the NFL?
Damn. We're starting off hot right here. The best team in the NFL, they are the Dallas Cowboys. You know why I say the Dallas Cowboys? It's complicated. Let me tell you why it's complicated. Look, when you don't know who the best team is, you just got to bet on talent. And that's what gives the Dallas Cowboys the edge. I'm looking at who are the best teams? Tampa Bay? No, I can't go there. Where you want to go? Chiefs? Titans? I don't know about them without Derek Henry. What are we going to say? Packers? All these teams have issues. All these teams have blemishes. All these teams have warts. But what team has the most talent? I'm going to bet on the talent. I'm going to bet on the Dallas Cowboys.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Honestly, I can't necessarily disagree because if I were to disagree, it would be complicated.
Okay, all right, y'all. I got a simple question for you. Who is the MVP? Right here.
No, this is actually the most complicated of all the answers.
Easy to me.
I want to say Tom Brady, but I can't because they've looked terrible as of late. I wanted to say Matthew Stafford, but I can't because he's looked atrocious out of late. The best team in the NFL, in my opinion, is the Titans, but they don't have an MVP on their squad, so I got to say Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson. Why? Because he's keeping a atrocious Ravens team afloat. And to me, that matters. They have the second most wins of any team in the AFC. They have the most wins in one of the toughest divisions in the AFC. He's without his top 3 running backs. His best left tackle, Pro Bowler Marcus Peters, is out. His left guard rookie been on IR. His first-round wide receiver, Rashad Bateman, missed the first 5 games of the season. Starting safety, Deshaun Elliott, out. Starting linebacker, LJ Fort, been out. So the fact that Lamar Jackson is even keeping his team afloat, to me, makes him the most valuable player.
Yes, he's the most valuable player. You know, I already knew I was going to go there, but just usage rate. How about that? Not to complicate it. It's the fact that they need Lamar Jackson. He is keeping this thing afloat. Of all those guys playing great football, Lamar Jackson keeping it afloat.
Okay, let me try to keep it simple. Seahawks, they're sinking fast. They're in last place in the NFC West. Here's a simple question. Is it Russell Wilson's last year in Seattle?
Yes, and this is not that complicated.
It's not.
If he gets what he wants, that's the complicated part. Russell's heart is elsewhere. Look, you imagine being a teammate of somebody who was like, hey, man, go Hawks, go Hawks. Oh, yeah, here's a little list just in case my side piece teams that I want to holler at, see what they talking about at the late night hour. Russell Wilson is looking at this team erode right before his very eyes, in part because of his lack of commitment or his desires elsewhere. But look at the defenses. When Russell Wilson was winning Super Bowls, this was a top defense. Now, 31st ranked. Russell Wilson's like, look, I'm not going down with the ship, especially when the ship are the Hawks, and I got a list of other teams.
But still, don't you think any relationship where two people have been entangled for a while is complicated?
Oh, yeah.
Seahawks and Russ been together for 10 years. Seahawks and Russ have won a Super Bowl together. Been to another Super Bowl together.
Yeah.
Seahawks and Russ have the most wins, head coach, quarterback combination, him and Pete Carroll, through their first 10 years of play. Doesn't that in and of itself just complicate things?
Yeah, it does complicate things, but look, man, I hate to live in a realistic world, not an idealistic world, but when the Currys get divorced, then anything can get divorced. You talk about 10 years.
Not Steph and Aisha, by the way.
No. We talking about the
Mama
real
Pops.
ones, the OGs
Mama
right
Pops.
there. Come on. Let's talk about another quarterback. See, me? I'm always off color. Jalen Hurts, who's shown some promise leading the Eagles to 4 wins this season. Here's a simple question on your former squad. Has Jalen Hurts earned franchise quarterback status?
It's complicated.
Is it complicated?
Jalen Hurts' last 3 games have been the best 3 games of his career. He blew out the Detroit Lions. Then he went and barely lost to your Chargers. Then he blew out the Denver Broncos. So in and of those statistics, yes, Jalen Hurts should be a franchise guy. But it gets complicated when you look deeper, Sel. That's why I say no. Because the first 7 games of the season, Jalen Hurts averaged 35 pass attempts. The last 3 games of the season, his best games of his career, only 18 pass attempts.
Oh, dang.
It's a little Baker Mayfield-ish, as you've told me.
Yeah.
The less we use you, the better you perform. It's hard for me to say a player is a franchise player when he plays better, the less he's actually utilized, particularly if this player is a quarterback. So is Jalen Hurts has he proven he's the Eagles' franchise quarterback? No, but it's complicated.
It's complicated. Jalen Hurts is right there. Like, I don't even know. He's the friend, and then you get stuck on that C, and you're like, you don't know where to go with Jalen Hurts. I believe in his moxie. I believe in his character. I believe in his talent. But also, I need a little more production to make this a slam dunk. Kind of like some of the conversations we have. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he not? If you don't know convincingly that he is, then he's not. So right now, I'm going to have to agree with you. I have to say no.
I got one more simple question for you. Odell, he didn't have the Hollywood debut that we all imagined last night. He only had 18 yards, 2 catches. Simple question.
Don't do this.
Will the Odell-LA Rams marriage work?
No. God, I wanted to say yes so bad, Odell, but nah, this is not going to work. Let me tell you why. Odell Beckham Jr., since last year, let's look at these stats, has played 14 games, and in 8 of those games, he's had 30 receiving yards or fewer. Yuck. Now, OBJ comes here. Now, they already had the beat down from Tennessee, and you think he's going to come save the day, or at least come out there and show you the flashes of greatness and brilliance? No, man, it gets worse. It goes from bad to worse in L.A. Here's something I got to read just off the card. This is insane. There have been 269 100-yard performances by wide receivers. Guess how many OBJ got in the last year and a half? 0. 0, bro. Baker Mayfield gone. That's your past. Matthew Stafford's your future right now. And right now, Matthew Stafford's going through his own case of hiccups. Woo, I don't think this is going to work, and I'm sad to say it.
So I'm going to say yes, but I wish there was another box, and maybe next time for it's complicated. It all depends. What do people want in marriage? Some people are just happy in a marriage if they just got money. Some want love. Some want respect. Odell Beckham, he is going to have all eyes on him. He is going to be, once again, in Hollywood. So in the event, what Odell Beckham wants isn't just catches, but the glitz, the glamour, the fame, the nationally televised games, and the targets, then he will have that. So it all depends, like in real marriage, what do you want out of life?
Don't do that.
For me, it's complicated.
I want it all, like in Monopoly, and I got it all. Anna Marie, I love you, girl. That'll do it for simple questions, complicated answers. He don't know about that. He's still single. Hopefully you learned a thing.
I don't want to learn about that.
You don't want nothing?
No, not at all.
Come here, Alto. Give me a hug. Coming up, scared of me. The Patriots are red hot with 4 straight wins. We'll tell you what Bill Belichick has proved this year. Next on Speak for Yourself. Whew.
That was solid.
Bill Belichick's Patriots only won 7 games last season. Now, they already have 6 wins and are on a 4-game winning streak. New England is doing it on both sides of the ball with Mac who? Mac Jones, showing why he was their first-round pick. And they also have the second-best scoring defense in the NFL. So, Acho, what was Bill Belichick prove this season?
I think the first thing he proved is last year was an anomaly. I think he proved that. Now that we're realizing...
That's a lot from you.
It is. You know me.
I do know you.
He not only proved that, he proved he can make lemonade out of limes.
Out of limes?
Out of limes, Sal. Remember, you the one who said, and I bought into it to a degree, that first year in Bill Belichick's system, you either sit or suck. Mac Jones' first year in the system, he ain't sit. And right now, he definitely don't suck. So Bill Belichick has proven that, one, last year was an anomaly. Two, he can make lemonade out of limes. And three, he got that Mac Jones pick right. Remember, there was Trey Lance before Mac Jones, Zach Wilson before Mac Jones, Justin Fields before Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence before Mac Jones, and then there was Mac, return of the Mac. And we were all like, come on, Bill Belichick. Like, you could have traded up, maybe got Zach. You could have traded up, maybe got Justin Fields, but Mac Jones is your heir apparent. He's your replacement to Tom Brady. After we digested that move, we were still taken aback when Bill Belichick got rid of Cam Newton for Mac Jones. Bill Belichick, he led you to 7 wins his first year. Give him another year. Let Mac Jones have time. Belichick said, nah, y'all are fools. I'm the greatest coach of all time. And he's proven to be that, Sel. So he's proven that last year was an anomaly, that he can make lemonade out of limes, and that Mac Jones was the right pick.
Okay. Who has Bill Belichick proved, and what has he proved? Who is Bill Belichick? The greatest coach ever to coach the NFL. Defensively, as a head coach, as a mind, as a leader. He's still Bill. And guys like you got me off my horse, got me off my high, making me think and look at Bill Belichick differently. But I'm not going to do that ever again. Never again. And to quote me properly, you sit or you suck in your first year in Belichick's system. Unless you're a first-year starter in Tom Brady. Remember his second year, he was a first-year starter. I try to clean it up. Point being, here's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is just a mastermind, dude. I've lost to him so many times. You know my record against Bill Belichick, Tom Brady? 1-4. But I had 7 sacks in those 4 games. Pretty good, huh? Actually, I only had 1. But the point is, I appreciate your love. 1 sack in those games. Belichick would do this. You walk out there, you see the talent level, you see this team, you see what it is, and you're like, you do your mental calculations. We all do it. We're all guilty of it. Track and field, you do it in the warm-ups. You see somebody doing high knees, you think, oh, he flexing, he fat. Ooh, he do look fat. You see somebody in football, look at the wristband. You look at all that. You do your mental calculation what the team looks like. And then you go on the field and you test the reality versus that calculation. No matter what Bill Belichick team is out there, whatever you thought of it, it's going to give you more. Bill Belichick has extracted more out of talent than any coach in history. Why he has these results. What does he prove this year? It's sad that we can even say, what does he prove? He's the greatest coach of all time. What is left to prove? More of the same for me, Bill Belichick the Great. Coming up, Bruce Arians called out, cameras, where you at? Coming up, Bruce Arians called out Tom Brady after Sunday's loss. There he is, but he appears to be backpedaling. Oh, damn. I'm gonna tell you he keeping it 100 or just 99. Next, gonna speak for yourself. You want to go again, Nacho?
And y'all know how we get down on this show. We do one thing, and that's keep it 100. But others, they be lying every day. They only be keeping it 99. So we got to get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth. Case in point, Tom Brady, he threw not 1 but 2 interceptions in Sunday's loss to Washington. And Bruce Arians said the picks were on his quarterback. But then he backpedaled like Deion Sanders in his prime from those comments. Y'all take a listen.
Somebody asked me what the second interception was. All right, not both of them. I didn't consider the first one interception. To me, that's a fumble. And,
looked like it, yeah.
So I didn't even, in my mind, that wasn't an interception. So the other one was, just a little sailed over Mike's head. But no, I wouldn't consider that first one a pick.
So it was an intercept, but then it wasn't. It was a in his head. It was a fumbleception. Anyway, Sarah, Bruce Arians keeping it 100 or 99?
Keeping it 1,000. Wow, more than 100. Of course, has he ever been scared to say what he's felt, whatever he saw? No. Just like Bill Belichick, we just asked, what did he prove this year? Bill Belichick always been great. What else he has to prove? What else does Bruce Arians have to say? Hey, I thought it was a fumble. Hey, I thought it was an interception. He says what he sees, and he's right. That wasn't no interception. That was a fumble.
He right on that one. I'm going to say he keeping it 100. The problem is you only got to backpedal if you go forward too fast. You go forward too fast, all of a sudden you got to backpedal. Or somebody coming at you too fast, then you got to backpedal. It's only the two options. Bruce Arians, sometimes he talks faster than he thinks. And that's why he over-talked that time, and then he had to retract his statement. Just chill, BA, and wait. Let it play out next time, big dog.
Oh, really? You going to tell him how to hold his press conferences now because he keeps it 100. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm about to work on that back pedal. That was deep.